So I just want to clarify, this is some pretty big news. PayDay is a very big AAA title and it's coming to mobile probably very soon. So as some of you may remember, 2 weeks ago I made a video where I basically described everything that happened with PayDay Crime War and why it got shut down and why it's not available to play anymore. Well, apparently yesterday, as at the time of me making this video, less than 24 hours ago I should say, PayDay Crime War and the developers that made it, Starbreeze Studios, managed to find a publisher. The publisher in question is Breach Studios, which has offered $250,000 for the source code of PayDay Crime War, along with access to Payday 2 content, ideally for assets. Breach Studios is supposed to foot the bill for the development of Payday Crime War moving forward, so it seemed the company is heavily invested. Of course, after looking at Breach's current catalog, which mostly features indie, or okay, say indie, mostly promotional games that don't really have any essence to them, and they're technically just simple mobile games from the 2010s. I can assume, and so have a lot of people who have basically written about this. I'm currently reading an article by Matthew Schultz, the guy who I quoted in my previous video, and he basically said that the Payday Crime would basically have to compete with both PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty Mobile, and every single other mobile game that has been released since, and that is quite a lot of competition, especially for a game that hasn't been developed since 2018 and is probably going to still have the basic mechanics that it had in 2018, my bad. And Breach is not really a studio known, or I should say a corporation or publishing firm, depending on to what you want to use. They're really not known for making good games, and you can probably assume that Payday Crime War is going to have a lot of in-app purchases based on their previous catalog. Breach is not really one of those gaming corporations that you expect to make money from making good games like NetEase or Tencent. They just make cash grabs like Solitaire knockoffs or their most famous game from back in 2010, a game about the Smurfs, and it was called Smurfs Village. That's what I'm trying to say. So considering the fact that Breach is pretty heavily invested into this, it could have a few tricks up its sleeve, or else Crime War could be dead in the water as it sees its worldwide launch. It's basically all the information we know right now. We don't know when the game is supposed to come out. We don't know, who are actually developing it, like who is the developers behind it. We know Starbreeze is probably going to be developing it, but who knows? Maybe since Breach basically paid Starbreeze for the source code, which means all the code, animations, assets, everything related to Payday Crime or those used in the previous version. We honestly have no idea when the game is supposed to be coming out. My only thought really is the fact that the game is going to not really be able to compete unless they make some drastic changes and perhaps make it the Payday Heist or whatever the first game was called, or Payday 2, because having a co-op experience on mobile would be pretty popular, considering the fact that that is why Call of Duty Mobile Zombies was pretty popular. You could just hop on there and play with your friends. That is why people enjoyed it so much. So having a full dedicated game about that, with leveling, with grinding, with getting better weapons, getting skins, all that stuff, and in-app purchases that are purely cosmetic, that would make the game very enjoyable and probably very popular. But like I've said, considering Breach's previous catalog, I'm going to assume that's pretty unlikely. With all that being rambled, I'm going to head out now, so yeah, bye guys!
Wherever we go, they already know, cause we making a scene in the city, love. We tryna go high, never stay low. They're gonna see my name on the street signs, to light them up to the fame in the city lights. In the city now, it's my city.